And hello, everyone. Welcome to HILLJAYNE Unfiltered, the 4-time, 5-time, I don't know, what is it, 6-time viral Facebook show, 1-time worldwide viral. Thank you so much for joining. I am so excited today. I have someone who's been with me my whole life. She has been in so many movies, so many TV shows. You may not know her name, but you definitely know her. Her name is Jean Coulter, and she is the Hollywood Stunt Woman, and she is a great role model in life, and she is with me, joining me by phone from California. Jean, hello. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Jean. I appreciate you joining me so early. I know it's a little early out there in LA, wonderful LA. What's it like out there in LA, by the way? We were chatting online the other day, and you were in the midst of an earthquake.
Oh, my, yes. I had a huge earthquake. Felt like it was right under me. It was a big, explosion, and then it just really started shaking. So it's interesting living here. It's beautiful, though. You know, the weather's perfect most of the time.
Yeah.
Summer's a little warm, but I don't mind it. I like the heat, so it's great for me. California's perfect. What can I say? We don't have bugs. We don't have the humidity, really. So I enjoy it, you know. I've traveled around a lot, and it's one of the best places for me, for my health and everything. So
Where did you grow
I'm
up?
still here.
Where did you grow up, Jean? Because where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Burbank, California, about 2 miles away from Columbia Studios and Warner Brothers. So, yeah, it was a small town when I was growing up.
So I wanted to talk to you about that because was it always in your genes? Did you always want to go into some type of entertainment industry, or were you always athletic when you were a teenager? Were you into sports and stuff like that?
Oh, yes, I was always athletic. We did everything. We horseback rode every weekend. I was an ice skater for years. Swimming, I swam every morning. We had our own pool, so I enjoyed that a lot. So, yes, we were very involved in sports. We were in the business very early. I was 3 years old. My sister was 2. We started working in the movie business. She became a big child star with
Yes.
Horse on her TV series called National
Yes,
Velvet.
she
So
was,
it's kind of
yes.
like we grew up in the business.
Yes,
you
a
know?
lot of people don't know that that's your sister, Jean. A lot of people don't know that the two of you are sisters because National Velvet, the TV show, is, of course, from the Elizabeth Taylor movie. It was like a spinoff, right? I mean, it's not because it's not something that's shown in syndication a lot, so.
Yes, yes. Yeah, she looked just like Liz Taylor.
She
I mean,
did.
It went through like 5,000 girls to get her. So,
Wow.
she really did look like Elizabeth.
Did Liz ever contact her or anything? Or did Liz ever watch the
No.
show? No.
No, which was interesting. I thought for sure she would, but she didn't.
That was probably during,
But,
thinking about the time, that was probably during her Dick Burton time, so she might have had her hands full.
I'm sure she did.
Some of the movies, some of the films you've been in, Cujo, Jaws 2, my favorite. Weren't you in one of the airport movies?
Yes, I was in Airport 77. I got to co-coordinate that, plus I did a part in that movie and doubled the lead actress in the movie. So, yeah, I had a lot of work to do on that show.
And then I'm about to say 2 magic words that all of the viewers of HILLJAYNE Unfiltered know of and that probably everybody in the world knows. Charlie's Angels.
Yes, Charlie's Angels. That was a great show to work on. What can I say? In the beginning, I was the only girl that doubled all 3 girls. I doubled Farrah and Kate and Jacqueline.
So you were part of the Angels in Chains. You were part of the Angels in Chains show, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And that is legendary in itself. I was talking to my roommate, and we'll get back to that in a minute, but I was talking to my roommate earlier this morning about Bionic Woman, and I couldn't find if you were ever a fembot or not, because you look like so many of them fembots because you're so perfect and everything. I was like, I wonder if she was a fembot, and I couldn't find anything on your resume about that, so I guess not.
A pen model?
A fembot. They were from the Bionic Woman. They were it's around the same time as Charlie's Angels. The Bionic Woman with Lindsay Wagner. And the fembots were just these mechanical women that Lindsay would sometimes get in fights with. And you're so athletic and you have such a good body. I always kind of wondered if Jean Coulter was one of the fembots, but obviously not.
I wish. I did work that show one day, I think.
Yeah.
But basically, I had so many TV series that I was working at in those years. You know, I worked all Aaron Spelling's TV shows, so I was very busy. I went from one to another. It was unbelievable at that time because a lot of girls weren't working. You know, there wasn't a lot of work for girls, so I just happened to fit all the actresses. And once I started and got known as doing some of the hard stuff, I just kept going. So it was very, very good for me in those years. You know.
Was it lucrative, Jean? Did you made a good living?
Well, I made a decent living. I made a better living than if I had gone to college.
Okay.
You know, and had to go out and get a job. But, you know, it was tough. We didn't get paid as much as the men. I probably got paid half of what the men got at the time. So, but, you know, for a woman, I was making good money, but I had 2 children to support, so it wasn't easy, you know.
Tell me about that.
And I had a lot of other things that I did, too. I had rentals, and I had a camera car business in the movie business. So I was always exploring different ways to do other things to make money because, you know, I knew I could never continue doing stunt work forever. It just... you know, takes a toll on your body when you're jumping out of cars and doing eye falls. So. And
you're also, in addition to being a stunt woman, you're also, you know, I'm gonna keep it real. You're really, really pretty. You're very glamorous and everything. So for me, like I would be like, well, I don't want to mess up my hair. I don't want to mess up my face. And obviously, being a stunt woman, you can't be like that. So that leads me to your fitness regime because I look at pictures of you. And I'm thinking, you know, I've had some things done, and I can look at you and say, this is a natural born beauty. And what is your fitness regime? You have beautiful skin, and you're in great shape. Tell me about how you live and how you stay in such great shape and just maintain this glow about you. And if you don't mind, if you want to tell your age, go right ahead.
Well, you know, I've always wanted to eat healthy. I started eating organic in the 60s, and nobody else was doing it. And I was working out in a gym with guys. There were no women working out in gyms. So I've always lifted weights. I've always swam. I've always been very athletic. And as far as what I eat only organic. I eat only like pure foods. If I eat, I'll eat salmon and vegetable, and that's about it. So I eat very simple. I do take vitamins and minerals, of course, because I think it's important to give your body some extra help. And I work out every day, at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And even now it's more important because I'm older and all those injuries force you to stiffen up in the morning. So if you don't start working out right away, it's like you're so stiff you don't want to couch. So I make sure that I work out every day. I lift weights. I work out on a ball. I do yoga. I hike every weekend. I hike with a group of people that hike in the mountains here.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So I keep active, you know. And that's about it. As far as my skin, I put all natural things on my skin. I mostly use coconut butter.
Yeah.
So I don't go and buy all that expensive stuff. I never have. Because, you know, when you're doing stunt work, you're dirty all the time anyway. So I just make sure that I clean my face and I put some moisturizer on it, and that's about it.
I saw
I'm good to go.
I saw an interview.
I was in a lot of beauty contests when I was young.
Yeah.
I won the professional Los Angeles in 1966.
Oh.
And I was probably in 10 beauty contests where I placed in every one. So I guess I wasn't too bad looking.
No, I would say definitely not. And I was watching an interview with Tracy Nelson a few years ago, Rick Nelson's daughter, who is an actress, and someone asked her for advice for anybody going into the industry, and she said, take your makeup off. And because she's actually a little older than she looks, and she hasn't aged one day, and she said, take your makeup off. And obviously in Hollywood and on movies, you wear a very thick makeup. I'm a girl who has special needs. I wear a thick makeup, and I have a habit of falling asleep with my makeup on. So as I'm now venturing, I know, right? Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. I'm venturing into my 40s. That's not the best thing to do. So I'm trying every night to take my makeup off. And, you know, I'm usually so tired. You know, I'm either working or editing this darn show. So but it's very important to take your makeup off. And I once...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had my plastic surgeon, I said, I want some Botox. He said, no, you're too young. I'm not going to give you any, which is really nice. And I said, no, but I want some. I've got these lines. He said, no. He said, you need a chemical peel. He said, but I'm not giving you Botox. You don't need it. He said, what you do need definitely, he said, is a chemical peel. He said, quit partying and quit partying and quit passing out with your makeup on. And those were his exact words.
Yeah, and what you put in your body really affects your skin. And I think that drinking water and maybe lemon every day is very helpful. I always hydrate, but keeping makeup on overnight, it's like, how can you breathe? How can your skin breathe if you have all that stuff on you? But I don't wear makeup during the day. The only thing I wear is eye makeup. That's it. I don't ever wear makeup because I'm in the sun. I love the sun, and I know it's bad for me, but I do spend some time in sun, so I'm usually pretty tan. So I don't need it, and I never did like it when they put makeup on me in the studio. It was like my face couldn't breathe. So
see, I love it. I love it, but
the natural things, simple, really simple things. And as far as the Botox and all of that, I don't know if it works. It scares me to think of me putting anything like that into my body because I've always been into health. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do when I start just falling apart. I'm sure one day I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to be so sad because my looks will be totally gone and I'll be, all wrinkled up.
What's it like? But what's it like?
I don't know.
What's it like, Jean? What's it like to be a beautiful girl, a beautiful woman, and you are, and there's nothing wrong with saying that, but what's it like to be a beautiful, feminine woman and be a stunt woman? What's that like? I mean, do you turn heads because you're
terrible. I must say that. It was so hard. It made it so difficult for me. One of the first jobs I took, I walked in on the set, and the guys were giving me a cat call and whistling and making fun of me. And, one of the guys said, oh, so you're the stunt woman, and he started laughing. And I was so bummed. And I went and I did the stunt, and after I did the job, they were so nice to me. I couldn't believe it. But it took me a couple of years to get respect.
Yeah.
Because the guys are like that, if you're kind of cute, they'll just go after you and give you the treatment. So
which leads me.
It took me a while to get through and break through with the guys in the business and not wanting to go out with anybody because that, for me, would be the end, dating somebody in the business, because it goes around. You know? So I never dated anybody in the business.
And see, that was going to be one of the things.
The guy finally took me in as a little sister and took care of me in their own way. So, that worked for me, being friends with them, and they were great to me. They did take care of me.
And that was going to be.
I was thankful for that, but.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Was there any on-set gossip? And I have to say, whenever I've been doing research on you the past few days, there is not one negative thing about Jean Coulter. No gossip. No, and I have looked everywhere. Every site on the planet. No one has anything mean to say about you. And which leads me to this. Whenever I see photos of you on the set and with your fellow stunt actors and actresses, you always seem so close. And you hear a lot about on-set bickering between actors and actresses. But there's always so many pictures of you from almost everything you've been in. You guys look so close, like a family.
Yes. Well, it is family, because we depend on each other to save each other's lives.
Right.
So you can't get closer than that. And no, I was like family to everyone. And I always had fun at work. I always laughed at work. And I think that makes other people happy and wants to be around you. And that was part of it. When you're working, people want happy people to be around. They don't want sad people. So that was just my personality.
And that's like for me.
When I'm bummed about anything, really, because life is great.
It is.
When you're alive and walking and talking, what else is there?
Exactly.
Life is great. So
it is. And that's another reason probably that you look so good, because you live that way. And you're not I can tell, you're not an oh woe is me, look at what's happening to me. Like for me, I've had some stuff in life, but I own it all, and so I feel better about it. I can deal with it better. And like recently, recently there was a brouhaha about me. I'm from North Carolina, and I lived in North Carolina. I dated someone, and I have a few mugshots. And so I went ahead and addressed the mugshots on one of my shows. And I said, this is what happened. I did this, and I'm good. And so once you kind of own it and like put it out there and you free yourself, I actually was trying to have, because this show gets a little bit of attention, not a lot, but it gets a little bit. Someone was actually trying to, you're trying to extort money from a waitress. I'm at my job. I'm a server. When I'm not doing this, I'm a server. So you're trying to extort hundreds of dollars from someone who waits tables. And so I just felt, I just put it out there, and I'm comfortable with it, and you probably look so glorious because you have that, and life is good. Like you said, life is good, but it wouldn't be unfiltered if I didn't get to some dirt. So I have to know. Tell me some gossip from Charlie's Angels. First of all, very first woman I ever loved, next to my mother, the very first woman I ever wanted to be was a lady named Miss Farrah Fawcett. What was she like?
Oh my gosh. She was very sweet, just very gentle and very athletic. She played tennis all the time, and she was just a great girl. I to this day can't believe that she's gone.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
So vivacious and so beautiful, and
my mom.
It's always nice. We just had a great time together. There were always long hours we worked, and hard shows we worked, but we had fun together, and she was always sweet and never anything bad. I don't have anything bad to say about anybody because everybody was so great to me. So,
was Lee around? Was Lee around? Lee Majors ever around?
Well, no, he didn't come on the set. I knew Lee from Universal,
okay.
So I was friends with him for years. And he was such a cutie.
He was. The 6 months. Yes, he was. He was.
Together were a perfect couple, I thought. And I was surprised they didn't stay together, but who knows?
What about
they're both nice people, and
what about
it's bad that she was gone.
Yes, it is. Kate and Jacqueline. What were they like, or what are they like?
Oh gosh, well, Kate was dynamite. I'll tell you, she was something else. She would always stick up for me. If she didn't think somebody talked nice to me, she would call them out on it right in front of everybody on the set. One day she says, Jean, are you going to let those guys talk to you like that? And I just let everything go. I mean, I'm easygoing. I just let everything go. But no, she was right in there calling me out saying, you got to talk to them and tell them.
It's what's so interesting. What's so interesting about her?
Of course, was dynamite.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
And very sweet too. All the girls were nice. There wasn't anything about them that I didn't really enjoy. They were always there if we got hurt. They'd run out and were so concerned.
Aww.
So, I really loved working on the show. I would go on and off the show when I did different other shows because I wasn't on the weekly on Charlie's Angels. So I didn't work the full 7 years on it. I worked on and off all the time. But yeah, I loved the girls. They were great to work with. Never.
Were you ever there during the?
So much fun.
Were you ever there during the Shelley Hack or the Shelley Hack years or the Tanya Roberts years? Were you ever there then?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Because I love Shelley Hack.
Yeah.
Next to Farrah. Yeah, next to Farrah, I love Shelley Hack.
Oh, Shelley. Oh, she was so sweet. Yeah, she had that little smile going, and she was great. She was a character. She was always laughing with me. She was just a happy person, and beautiful too.
Yes.
Of course, all the girls were.
And I think that's how she got Charlie's Angels. Is she was the Charlie's perfume model, and they went ahead and hired her for Charlie's Angels, and then she had done the Charlie's perfume years before, and she got another contract. Which do they call it Charlie? The perfume. So she got it again. So she was a big. I don't know that people realize Shelley Hack was a humongous supermodel from the 70s and maybe late 60s, but she was a huge model.
Yeah. I know.
I want to get.
A lot of people didn't know
Yeah.
that, But, Yeah, I was surprised she did the TV series, actually.
Yeah, yeah, she was.
I don't think you make as much money on a TV series as you do modeling,
No.
especially where she was at, But she seemed to enjoy the show. She was happy doing it, so, as long as you're happy, that's the most important part.
Exactly.
The money's secondary.
Yeah, I want to get to Cujo. Because there's so many urban legends, and then we're going to get to my favorite, the creme de la creme, Jaws 2. But I want to briefly touch on Cujo because there's so much stuff online, and I believe E did a True Hollywood story on the making of Cujo, or maybe I don't know. Dee Wallace was interviewed, and the feeling I got, D not necessarily, particularly the car scene. What was it? A Pinto? Was it a Pinto? I think, Jean.
It was a Pinto, yes.
So there's all these misconceptions. Tell us about the dog, because the dog looks different in so many scenes. And there's even rumors that at one point there was a robot dog. Can you tell me about the dog? How many different dogs? Okay.
Well, I trained with 5 different dogs. They were all different. They even look different.
They do.
With makeup on them and stuff, you can make them all look the same. And we had a mechanical dog, and we had a stuntman by the name of Gary Morgan, and he was in the mechanical dog. So when you see the dog run and hit the car, that's Gary Morgan doing that.
Okay.
So it worked great, though. The dogs were all different. One was very, very mean, and I wouldn't even get by him. He was so mean. The other ones were great. I trained them with food, and it all worked. I worked with one major dog on the movie during that scene inside the car, and he weighed 152 pounds, and of course I weigh 102 pounds. So he had to be on top of me, and I was laying over the console, my back, and him on top of me. Boy, was that a trip. He took the whole car up. He was so big. With me in there, I could barely breathe, and he's on top of me. And then at one point, I teased him so much he started clawing my chest to get the toy I had. Oh my goodness.
I love that movie. And I love Dee Wallace in it. I've always liked Dee Wallace. What's Dee like? Because now, as she's gotten older, she's into this kind of, I think, metaphysics type thing. I may be wrong, but she's into this interesting stuff. So you might know a little bit better, but I've always been very drawn to her. I just think she's such a cool chick.
She is. She really is. And I think she was a teacher at one point in her life. I'm not sure. But, no, she is very cool, really down to earth, and just sweet, just really nice, too. I enjoyed working with her, although we didn't work a lot. My scenes took a lot of time because the dog comes and chews my leg. And
I was going to say, that's a big part of the movie.
Yeah, Dee worked separately with the young man that was acting, and they were in the car. So it was a hard scene because the car was little, it was hot.
She has said
it took a long time to film that show.
I was going to say,
there was a lot involved in that show with the animals. Anytime you're working with animals, you're at their mercy. How they feel, what they want to do. So that's what it's like. Gary did a lot of work with the mechanical dog, a lot of work. So, but you can't even see it on film. Once they put it together, you'd never know which dog was which or anything. So it worked out great.
My mom, I saw it with my mom when I was a kid. I saw the movie with my mom, and she told me, because I kept saying, well, the dog keeps changing in size. And my mom was like, well, that's the rabies, bless her heart. My mom was like, well, that's the rabies. But so during a lot of that car, in the scene in the Pinto, that's actually you in a lot of those scenes, right? A lot of that's actually you during.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I spent a lot of time there doing that. And I was so close to Dee. You can film me from the side of my face, and I look just like her. Same with Cheryl and Farrah, though. They film me on the side of my face because I look so much like them. I have that long face. So it worked really great, and you couldn't tell. I was such a great double for those girls. So that worked for me. Same with Stephanie Powers. I did the Heart to Heart series, and they could film me face on, and you couldn't tell it wasn't her.
Now, I have to ask. I have to ask during Heart to Heart. I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask. Were you ever around during the time? Was Natalie Wood ever around?
No, but but I did work with Natalie on another movie. I don't know what the name of it was, but I did work with her. Oh, she was so beautiful.
Yes, she was.
And very, very soft, very small. She was little like me. Just very nice. I knew her sister too, Lana, and she was great too. But no, Natalie, no. She didn't come on the set at all.
Was her when you worked with Natalie?
I'm not even sure where she was at that point, if they were married or not married.
That whole thing is always interesting to me because, you know, one of the kids is hers, one of the kids is his, and then they got one. It's very interesting. But I have to ask, because I'm me, when you were working with Natalie, did you notice her wrist? Because every movie I'm in, I'm always looking at her wrist to see if I can spot the injury. And I've only seen one photo of her ever where I can tell it. Is it really that noticeable, or as noticeable as she thought it was? Or did you even notice? She had a bad wrist.
I never noticed it. And she sat right next to me.
So.
I never even noticed. Nobody ever told me about it either.
So
I didn't know.
You know about the story, right? She was on a movie when she was a kid, because, you know, she was a child actress, and she hurt her wrist on a movie, and she wore bracelets on one particular wrist through every movie. She's wearing a bracelet on this one wrist, and in the Splendor in the Grass, she didn't want to do the bathroom scene because they wanted her to take her bracelet off, and she refused to take her bracelet off during the bathtub scene.
I remember the bracelet.
Okay.
I do remember the bracelet because they were so outstanding because she's so little, you know. So she wore all that jewelry on the one arm. That's right.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yep.
I had no idea.
That's me and I love classic Hollywood.
She's so beautiful.
She was. We got to get to Jaws 2. And that's probably my third favorite movie. My favorite movie is Showgirls, then Mommy Dearest, then Jaws 2. I saw Jaws 2. I know. I have such eclectic taste. Jaws 2 holds a special place in my heart because I saw it with my daddy, or as we say in the South, my daddy. He took me to the movie, and I like to say I was, 1 or 2 when I saw it, but I was couple years older than that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But I saw the movie on the big screen. And what people don't realize, Gene, particularly some of my viewers, they don't realize that, like the movie, I saw Jaws 2 before Jaws, but I saw them both in the theater. Back in our day, a movie could have a first run, a second run, a third run, right? That's hardly ever done today, but you had more than one runs back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So I want to get to...
that movie is unbelievable. It's played all the time.
It does. And
even more so now. It's like more popular now. It's crazy. I get mail all over the world on that movie. It's unbelievable.
It's a pivotal scene, Gene. It's a pivotal scene, and you're an icon. Are you aware that to horror movie fans, you're like an icon? It's, and I'm sure you know.
It's so funny because that's really hard for me to take in because, my job was tough.
I know.
Never thought about anything else. I never wanted to be famous. I just wanted to work and make money,
And I love the director.
Icon and a legend. I'm going, oh my God, for what?
I love that the director, though. I love that the director.
That movie was great for me, though. It really was.
And I love that the director kept you. The director kept you as an actress rather than just hire you as a stunt. He had you acting that scene rather than just playing the hard parts, and I just love that about that director. And I think that says something about the director.
Oh, thank you. Well, honey, I interviewed. There was 500 girls up for that part, and I think in the beginning they were going to go with an actress and a stunt woman, but then they interviewed all these women, and they finally called me up and said, "You're going to do the movie," and I was flabbergasted, really, because it was quite a big part for me.
Yeah.
Although I'd done other parts in other movies, it was quite a big part, and it worked. It worked. It was a lot of hard work with fire, because I had fire on me and no fire suit or anything.
Gene.
No fire gel. And in those years, we didn't have what they have now. In fact, everything's different now. But
so you're really on fire. You're really on fire. And I show the scene. I'm showing the scene. I'm showing the scene at the beginning of the show, and you're really on fire. She's really on fire, you guys. At the beginning, the scene that I'm showing in these opening credits, she's really on fire, y'all. She's really on this woman. Yeah. She's like 5 foot, 102 pounds. She's on fire.
Well, I have this underwear, this Nomax fireproof underwear, and that's all I had. And they put this blowtorch blowtorch, which is like one of those things that run in your barbecue and all the propane comes out. That's what they put against my back and lit it. So my whole back from my butt up was all on fire.
Wow.
And my hair was on fire. It was a lot of hot work, you know.
And it was during the summer, right?
It got hot.
It was during the summer, right?
But, the only thing I lost was my eyebrows and my eyelashes.
Wow.
Because in the water when you're working, on stage we could use a fan to blow the fire away from your face. But when we were out in the water, the wind just whipped around and it was out of control. So I had no control of that. So I was lucky not to burn my face.
Wow.
I just, lost my eyebrows.
And that was during the summer, right? That was filmed during the summer of 77?
No, honey, we shot in October. It was like snowing in Florida at that time.
Really?
So it was very cold.
Maybe it was the original.
I did work in Catalina for some pickup shots, so the weather was different, of course.
Yeah.
But no, it was cold.
So I want to get to the urban legend. First and foremost, here are what some of the fans have asked me to ask you. What is the relationship between you and the skier? Not in real life, but is there any character development? Do we know anything? What are you sisters? Are you friends? Do you have any idea? Is there any backstory to it?
I think we were just friends.
Okay.
To my knowledge, I believe that's what it was. We were just friends.
Why didn't the old lady hear? Why didn't the old lady hear when you were battling the shark? Why didn't the old lady hear? I said because she said a fan wants to know when you're battling the shark, and then the lady doesn't hear anything going on until the boat explodes, and it appears that her house is right in front of the boat. Why didn't she hear when you were battling the shark, when you're screaming?
Well, we were a ways away from that house,
okay.
So I could understand how she couldn't hear.
Okay.
And if she was busy rocking in her rocking chair, she wasn't paying attention in the explosion. We were quite a ways away from the house, so I could understand that.
Here's the big one. Here's the big one. And I actually am confused about this too. Here's the big one. And there's so many urban legends, I'm not even going to begin to get into them. Okay. And first I have two things to say to you, Jean, because I've been watching the scene religiously. I have two things to say. Terry? Anyway. Anyway. Okay. So when your character picks up the gas, thing, what exactly is she trying to do? Is she trying to throw the gas container at the shark? Is she trying to catch the shark on fire, or is she trying to blow herself up? What's she trying to do?
She's trying to throw something at the shark to stop it.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that she could pick up that was big enough to hit it, and maybe it would, go away. But obviously it didn't. But no, and with the shark hitting the boat all the time, it was very rocky. So the boat was wet inside, so I was slipping all over anyway. And I was lucky that can didn't hit me because it was quite heavy when it was full.
And
so
there's
for
one
me to
scene.
lift it up first, it was hard because it was very heavy, a metal can full of water. And I was lucky I didn't lose my balance then, but it was, you can tell.
Yeah.
I was slipping all
You were
over the
slipping,
place.
and your feet are so little.
At one point, when that shark hit the boat almost went over on top of me.
That's what I was going to say. There's one scene where you're like laying on the boat, and you're like really, your back is like, you're almost aerial. You're like leaning, and you're leaning on it. Was that planned, that you're supposed to, your back is on the boat like that, and you're like, it looked really real to me.
Well, we just kind of go with the flow.
Okay.
Whatever happens, you kind of make the best of it and try to complete the scene. I always do that because doing stunt work, you can't plan on certain things to happen. Everything goes wrong. It's always that way. So you just kind of go with the flow and try to make it look good and remember where you are and what you're doing and where the camera is. So, no, we just, did it as it came. I mean, with that boat in the water and the mechanical shark, my goodness, we had a lot to deal with, and a lot of things went wrong on that show. So that's just the norm, and that's why you get paid to do stunt work, because it's not easy, and you have to know where you're at and what you're doing, and you have to complete the scene, and safely, too. That's another thing. You don't want to get hurt, so... I tore my knee up on that show because my foot got caught in the bottom when the boat almost turned over.
I always thought you had to...
tore my knee up, and I was in a cast that I took off to complete the show.
I always thought you had the cutest feet. You know, when you're slipping, your little feet are so cute. Your feet are so tiny. But I got to ask you, who coached Donna Wilkes on those terror screams? They're so, you know, that's next to you. That's my favorite character from Jaws 2. I just love the, you know, wild, sexy teenager, you know, and the teenage girl, and then she's on the boat and she's screaming like crazy. Who coached her on those screams? Because people have credited that as some of the best screams in horror movies.
Well, you know, she did it all.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the one that did it. The director is just there telling her whether he liked it or he didn't like it. So it was up to her to produce, and she definitely did.
For everyone wondering who Donna Wilkes is, Donna Wilkes plays Jackie, a character, one of the teenagers in the movie who goes on the boat, and she's kind of the wild girl, the sexy girl that everybody wants. And a few years later, she would be on a movie called Angel, where she was a straight-A student by day, Hollywood hooker by night, Donna Wilkes. And she's actually on Facebook too. So Donna, if you're watching, I'd love to interview you. Anyway, so Jean, I've had a lot of fun with you, but it wouldn't be HILLJAYNE Unfiltered if we talked about some things that you were going on in your life. And I briefly touched on how cancer has affected my life. Can you tell me how it has affected yours?
Well, you know, last week I was just told I have it again in the same breast the third time. So I'm not real happy about it. I've had cancer now 4 times. So I never did the radiation. I never did the chemo. They told me I would die. 8 years ago, they told me I would die, that I wouldn't make it. And I didn't, because I do special diets and I do special things. And I made it, you know. I just told them that I wanted to die under the conditions I wanted to die under. I didn't want to do the chemo and radiation. So now it's back in the same breast, the same thing all over again. So it's, you know, a little bit discouraging, but, you know, when it's my time, it's my time. All the things I did, I should be dead a long time ago. At one point when I was doing a stunt, I was paralyzed from the neck down for 27 minutes. So I know that I've used my 9 lives up. So if it's time, it's okay. You know, I'll go somewhere else and have fun. So
well,
that's about it.
I just want you to know,
it's really a terrible thing. And
it is.
Who knows why we have so much cancer?
Yeah, and I've witnessed, I've come face to face with cancer. I was there as my beautiful mother left this earth, and so I've come face to face with it. But I just want you to know, first of all, thank you for doing this interview, and thank you for. I know that every day may not be sunny for you, but thank you for allowing me to come into your life, and you're helping me, and you brought a lot of happiness to people. And I just want you to know that Jean, I created myself in the image of the women I love. My mother, Jane Mansfield, Trissy and Shonda, Belinda Carlisle, Madonna, Julia Roberts, Cherie Curie, Patty from Can't Buy Me Love, and Jean Coulter. Thank you, Jean.
Oh, how awesome. You are so sweet. You're so kind. I'm so happy to spend time with you.
Me too, Jean.
I really enjoyed it. Now, thank you so very much.
Thank you. And whenever you want, if you ever whenever you get back into movies, you let me know. I'll promote the hell out of you.
Well, we love you too, honey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jean.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. What a wonderful lady. I'm so happy to have done this. So fulfilling. And thank you guys for watching. Jean Coulter, Hollywood Stunt Woman. The Hollywood Stunt Woman. So you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later, and go out and get you some.